Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's Ian with Good Form Sports Cards back with another video. Today we've got another mail day, and it's got a good mix of a couple PC items and a lot of items I'm hoping to just go raw to grade. I spent a lot of time scouting these online. Let's see how I did. This first package here, it appears damaged. It is not. It was one where I actually did have to open it. It had this Adam Vinatieri rookie in it. This raw usually goes for 70, 80 bucks. This looked really clean and I picked it up for like 60. Looked like it would get at least a 9, maybe 10. The centering left to right's not optimal, so it's probably a 9, but either way, it should be profitable. I opened this early just to make sure it didn't have any major issues and that I didn't miss my 3-day window with eBay as I was waiting for the rest of this stuff to come in. So I'm happy with this pickup. The card is really clean. The surface is really good. Corners are sharp. It's just centering is just not ideal, but it's not terrible either. So I picked up this Vlad Guerrero Bowman's Best Refractor. This is the CGC 10. This one I'm gonna kind of sit on for a little bit. I picked it up at a good price, so it's not really anything that's super urgent to deal with, but I got a Dice K, a rookie black refractor. Picked this up for just a few bucks. Not a super storied career. He's more hyped than anything when he came over, but I do really well selling a lot of the international stars. All right, so here we've got a Shohei Ohtani Topps Chrome refractor. It's a pretty baseboard one. I just picked it up for a few dollars. Nothing too wild. Just looked nice and centered and sharp. All white corners on the back, which helps a lot. So just looking for those mid-range cards that you can grade out and low risk with decent reward. It's one of those types of cards where if it grades a 10, you're looking at 60 plus. If it doesn't check out, you're only into it for a few bucks. So those are kind of nice to deal with. Here we had a Keith Kachuk. This is a Topps, I think it was just like the mystery finest from back in the day. Picked this up for a few bucks. It looked really clean. We'll see how it does. He's been kind of getting more hobby relevance now that his son's just played big hockey tournament there during the All-Star break. So here, this is a PC card for me. This is an Oscar Donruss Elite Blue, number to 275. I was going through the COMC auctions that night, I remember, and I just saw that floating and threw like a $1.50 bid. I was like, if I take it down, great. If I don't, whatever. And I saw I had it, so throw that in there. Connor McDavid, this is the SPX Hollowview Blue, kind of the newer take on that. I'll try to pick up decent little inserts of Connor and Austin Matthews here and there. Here we picked up a UFC Khabib card here. This one looked really clean as well. Center, white borders all around, so these should grade well, provided the surface is decent. This one was numbered to 99, if I can get it to hit the light right there and focus simultaneously. All right, Magic Johnson Gold Refractor. This is the Topps Chrome, so it's non-licensed. You're not going to see him in his Lakers uni or anything here, but he is in his Team USA gear, so it's a pretty nice gold refractor of Magic. That wasn't too bad of a price point on that either. Jerry Rice, I think this was a 96 or 97 EX. To check the surface on these. These ones, the surface is always tough, but otherwise they typically stay pretty sharp with the acetate. Try to get this out of light so it looks a little better, but I don't know if that's part of the card or if it's got some kind of mark there, but again, it's a low end card. So here we've got the Alex Morgan and Hope Solo Panini Americana. These are actually for sale quite a bit raw. They'll always sell too. It's just a matter of if it's not gradable, I should be able to instantly throw it back out and get my money back. But Gina Carano picked up this Leaf card. I think it was technically her rookie. Gina's basically, as we know, a pioneer with UFC, and also kind of transitioned over into, we call it politics, but she's had her time with Disney and the Daily Wire and all that stuff. So she's stayed relevant. We got a splash of color Goodwin Champions, Allen Iverson. I believe this one was numbered, but it's a pretty, numbered to $2.99, $4.99. Pick these cards you can get for $1 or $2 all day long, but they look really nice. Unlicensed, so you're just gonna see them in their street clothes, but I still think the Goodwin sets are really nice. Here we've got a Muhammad Ali hologram card. I've been picking up a few of these lately. They're not particularly expensive and they're certainly condition sensitive, but such an iconic pose of Muhammad Ali. I actually have a picture like this signed by him. Like picking up Ali, and I love those old holograms. Big sucker for those, even those cheap Denny's ones, I love them. Hannah Hidalgo, pink refractor here. Bowman University Surface Their cards always just have surface issues. Here we got a Kobe Bryant Skybox Premium Rookie. This one looked clean online. The scans are pretty good. These cards are notorious for just edge chipping and bricking, just when the cards stick together in the packs and it just little tiny pieces of the surface material stick to the card behind it. Got a 94 Bowman's Best Red Refractor of Deion Sanders. These cards are really underrated. I think they're really undervalued, these old Bowman's Best Refractors. You have the red and blue ones. I think it depended on the league. I think American leagues were blue, or I'm not sure how they determined who was what. These red refractors are really nice. Good color match at Deion in the Cincinnati uniform here. So we've got a Giancarlo Stanton Bowman's Best Orange Refractor, number to 25. I like to pick up the low number Giancarlo cards here. I think he's one of the fringe Hall of Famers, and his cards are priced really well. Another UFC cards. This is a Bloodlines Frankie Edgar, and I believe this card was numbered to 149, it looks like. Got the Blue Jay out there going nuts if you can hear him. So this was just a cool looking card with a flag in the back and everything. Frankie Edgar is a all-timer with the UFC there. And if you Barry Bonds, this is an Omega numbered to 299. This is a playing years Barry, so I like to pick those up. This one looked clean, but it's always hard to keep these corners sharp. They always show whitening under magnification. So we'll check Barry out a little closer later and see if he makes the cut. Pick this up, it was really cheap. We'll go young Venus was just a kid there. So Serena is always in the news. She just was with the Super Bowl, and it seems like the Williams sisters, I've noticed like some of the cards that I had sitting in my COMC vault started to move again for both sisters. So taking a flyer on this one, just seeing how it looks. It's such an obscure card where I think if I just threw it out for like buy it now, I'd be profitable anyways, just leaving it raw. Got a Tucker Craft green hyper here, and it's color match with the Packers. This looked pretty sharp, looked pretty centered. So we'll check out Tucker, make sure he might be gradable, he might not. Stadium Club Chrome Refractor, one of my all-time favorites, Mark McGuire. This is not a PC card, but it was a pretty nice one floating out there. Just wanted to pick this one up and see how it did. If it doesn't grade well, I'll certainly keep it. Here we have a Jason Terry Gold Refractor. This I don't know if I overpaid. I think I've paid like 10, 12 bucks for it or something. It's definitely off center. I'm hoping to probably get a 9 if the surface is clean. This card, I wouldn't have bought it unless I thought, you know, I could make money, obviously. Even an 8 in this, I think I would have been profitable based on the fact that I picked it up. But this is something where I definitely would have left room for error. This is definitely a PC card. We got John Taffer. You're making me sick.
Really? You're an irresponsible ass, and my wife probably got sick because of you.
Sorry I had to throw that in there, but I love watching Bar Rescue. Nice clean auto here. I like the pop culture stuff, so Taffer's always an enjoyment. Russell Westbrook on the Optic Pink. This one's numbered to 25. Picked that up really cheap. I think Russ is really, really undervalued. I think he just has hasn't been the same, obviously, his last few years of his career, and I don't think his card prices accurately reflect his body of work. George Bush and the Misses here. I think this is the Topps Chrome Refractor. This is from the First Pitch series. I believe this is the same one that has that iconic Kendrick Lamar and everything. Paper Lamars are going for like 50, 60 bucks after the Super Bowl. So anyway, I like to pick up some US-based stuff. We got a former president here. Pretty cool, throwing out the First Pitch. Wayne Gretzky. Okay, I like to pick up the all-time greats of all sports, really. And this card is going to be really condition sensitive. It looks nice and sharp, but these foil corners are just really, really tough to keep sharp. There's usually a little bit of loss there, but I'm going to check it out. It looked good under magnification. It still looks pretty good from here, so we'll see how Wayne did. And last but not least, this card I kind of got snoozing out there, and I don't know what it's going to do. You got Julius Randle. He kind of is what he is at this point. I don't think there's a ton of upside for his cards, but this is a select blue. I think these are numbered, no, maybe not. But thought that this would be a nice little pickup. It looked really clean, possibly gradable. If not, Randall being traded here to the Timberwolves, I'm sure I could find somebody locally that would like to have that card. This will go to the registry set. This was a PSA 8, just base common card here. And oddly, I was going through COMC auctions, and I had already cleaned out the COMC vault of cards that were priced in my price point. Someone must have just decided they're ready to move off that one, auctioned it off, and I picked it up for under $20. Same with this one here. So always looking to add to the set. Picked up another We got a Mike Trout X-Fractor. Picked this up real cheap. It was like $2. Looked really, really clean. Trout's another one, kind of like Vlad, is I don't really feel like he's going to go down much more. We know what Trout is, and if he can get healthy and put a little run together for a couple years here, I believe his card value is actually coming back up. So he's one that I don't mind getting some cards to just tuck away that are gradable, and if he starts to heat up, I'll get him graded and go from there. This Garbage Pail Kid card, believe it or not, I did buy. We're going to see a few of these in the packages, and the reason behind those there, and I'm just going to keep moving because there's not a lot of reason to spend time on them. One of the collections I'm selling on consignment had a lot of Garbage Pail cards, a couple thousand, and I was able to assemble like 5 sets and like 2 that were just like 3 to 5 cards away. So rather than try to sell those cards off individually, I'm just going to make the investment of buying like 3 medium, excellent condition ones, not gradable, but just decent enough to fill out the set, and then sell the whole set together, or maybe put all the sets together to see if somebody wants to just buy the whole deal. But the complete sets are a lot easier to sell, especially the cards after the 1985 inaugural year, the 1986, 1987. It's really tough to sell those cards off one at a time. Another Muhammad Ali hologram. Another Garbage Pail Kid. We're just gonna move through these Garbage Pail Kids. There's just nothing special here. They're really cheap. They're not well centered. They're just set fillers. So there's nothing worth wasting time on here. So we'll just give them a little camera time, and then off we go. CJ Stroud, Goodwin Champions. This is I don't remember what the parallel is. Pink Tracks. There we go. These are numbered to $2.99, and these actually, their condition's been really sensitive. I've picked up some Goodwin Caleb's and Bryce Young's, and those Pink Tracks seem to grade really well. If you're looking in that market, want to get like Jaden or somebody like that, a cheaper Jaden, that would be a good parallel to go after. Aaron Judge, this is his Ginter rookie. Centering left to right looked a little heavy on this side, but I think it's good enough to get a 10. Picked this one up for $3 or $4 under the raw comp that it usually goes for, so feel good about that either way. I feel like as long as he doesn't get injured, that's going to be profitable, whether it's raw or graded. Another GPK. Cheap Ant-Man rookie here. This is the retail base, so it is not the silver. Looked well centered though. Ant-Man, again, I'm in Minnesota, so he moves well here for sure. There we go. Garbage Pail Kit Arm Brit. Look at that. All right. We got a Verlander Blue Refractor. This one numbered to 150. Cheap pickup here, a couple dollars. This is a Michael Jordan Stadium Club. Looked pretty clean, but either way, if it's not, I should be able to just put them out, buy it. Now, I have a lot of Jordans like this in my store that are good condition, so people like buying their onesie twosie Jordans all the time. We got another, here's the parallel to Arm Brit. This is Shaggy Aggie. And you can see these, obviously the order I did here to fill out the Garbage Pail Kids. I think I did them all in one order, and then there was like one order that had a stray of 1 that I needed to acquire. So Josh McRoberts, this is just a Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor. It is a rookie, but it looked like it would grade really well. I'm not sure if the left to right centering is 10 worthy or not, but usually any imperfections showing back with chipping or anything, I didn't see any on this one. So I think this would grade well. Go good to a set builder somewhere. Sorry, Garbage Pail Kid. Like Trout, we got the Ray Wave Refractor here, similar to the X-Fractor we saw a little bit ago. Just picking those up for a couple of dollars. Looking to raw to grade those, and low risk, high reward. Jaromir Jagr, fantastic finishers, OPG. These are from his playing years. I like to pick up the playing year cards of GOATs. We saw the Bonds earlier, the Kachuk earlier. This is just the same or similar foil card, so it's pretty condition sensitive. I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but At that price, when it's just a dollar to dip your toes in the water, you can take a chance. This is a Matthew Stafford. This is just a Topps Finest base. I picked this one up and figured 2 out of 3 outcomes that were good for me at the time when I bought it. He was not signed with LA yet, but that's a big market, so I figured he either stays, which is good, or he gets traded to a good market or a good team, which is also good. The only bad thing would be if they just couldn't work something out and he goes to like a crap team. Fortunately for me, it was one of the 2 good outcomes. Nolan Arenado Topps paper. You can pick these up for, they usually sell for about $6.50 to $8. That's typically what the card goes for, raw in good condition. If you're patient, you can pick them up for $4 or something like that. I'd probably sniped it at auction like that. I always try to buy in at a good price and just get that couple of dollar head start. If you buy at a high price and it's not good, it's really tough to unload the card, and especially with eBay fees. If you buy that at 8 and it's not gradable, then you got to try to sell it, and you're going to already take $6.50 to $8 at the best for it. Then you lose your 13% and final value fee and all that good stuff, and you're just, it's not like you're taking a big bath on it, but I mean, if you're going to risk $8, you don't want to be losing that much just by flipping it a week later. That's just absurd. So got a Randy Johnson. This is the orange silver pack, numbered to 25. Non-playing years, so you can pick these up a little cheaper. So another card for the top set. Picking these guys again up under $20. This one here would be, this might be a good one to send to SGC too if it grades out good. The checkerboard will look nice in a tux. Maybe we'll send Derwin over there. It's not a high-end card by any means, but the checkerboard parallels sell really well. Just need Derwin to stay healthy. Steven Stamkos, one of the all-active leaders. This is a thicker card. I can already see this corner's got a little white on here, so it's probably not gradable, but we'll double check it and see how it does. Numbered to 91. Got Jessica Alba here. She was in the news a little bit, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of that. Just a base pop cards, whatever this is. Recently, she's single, but she was divorced and then was photobombed at the Oscars and all that stuff. B. John Robinson. This is the green hyper, not exactly the greatest color match. Looks like it's like a Christmas parallel with the Falcons colors, to be honest, but top to bottom centering isn't ideal, but it looks like it should be good enough to be within 10 range. We'll check that out and see if we can't get him ready for the season. Sidney Crosby, this is a Team Canada, or you can see the captain's parallel here from Upper Deck. Ooh, this is a nice one. Manny Machado, this is a gold Ray Wave refractor. This should be numbered to like 50, I think. 25, actually. Manny, I really like him. I think statistically he's very underrated. Super good defensively. His hitting stats are right up there. If you look at the active, he's near the top of the active leaders, and he's only 30. So the people around him are 34, 35, that sort of thing. He's a little bit of a statistical outlier. If he keeps his production up, I think he is going to be a sneaky buy. Giancarlo Stanton, here's another low-numbered card, kind of in lines with what I was talking about before. Sitting red, this is a Topps Finest parallel, but this is numbered to 5. And I picked this up for, I think it was like $25 or less. So if that grades out, that's a nice pickup. Cheap pickup here, but these grade really well. The Cam Newton Score rookie, you can see they're pretty well centered. You got all white borders. Really easy cards to gem as long as the surface is good. Ellie De La Cruz, Topps Pristine base. Let's pick up a little rookie of Ellie here. He'd be the opposite of some of the people I'm talking about, where what do I think he could do to make his cards go up? I couldn't tell you. I think he's got everything baked in there, so you just got to try to get him at a good price if you're going to play in that market. It's a Topps Finest. I think this was the X-Fractor, or yeah, X-Fractor, Freddie Freeman. Not numbered, but Freddie, MVP level players, picked up a championship. Chad Johnson / Ocho Cinco, Topps Finest Moments green refractor. These typically are really clean. What you got to watch are the back corners on these. They're all dark, and they're paper behind the chrome front, so they tend to, like, the chrome will hold up really sharp and look really good. So if you're just quickly looking at your cards and grading reveals, make sure on these that you look at the back corners, that's going to be what gets you the 8s that sneak up on you, and you're going to be really confused. I see them on YouTube videos where people are, I don't know what PSA is looking at, and I'm looking at them angle that card in the camera. I'm like, bro, I can see that corner. We got a Tyson Holyfield hologram. It looks like it's extremely off-center left to right if you look at this bar over here versus the bar over here. But this is just something I wanted to pick up. I'll probably just keep it in my PC. Definitely not a gradable card for sure, but I love those old holograms. Every time I see them, it's clickbait. I just bid on them. We got a LeBron James Crusade. I think this was the red, if I remember right, or maybe I don't. Maybe it's just the silver. Nice card. Just make sure that I'm always sketched out when I buy LeBron parallels off of COMC, because anyone that gets a good LeBron, I feel like they would grade it. Perennial All-Stars Barry Bonds insert. It looks really cool like all 90s inserts do, but it's actually pretty cheap. So we'll see if it grades well. I'm a little concerned. It looks like it's a little lightning, or is it just a reflection? But Barry is probably my all-time favorite baseball player, so I don't care about getting stuck holding on to a few Barry cards. Anthony Edwards NBA debut mosaic silver. So this is not the base or the variation silver. The debut is a little cheaper, a little less desirable, but it's still a very nice card. Pick this one up at a good price. Hopefully this is gradable, and we'll get the Ant-Man back here in a couple of months. Playing with Fire Phoenix. This is Patrick Mahomes. I like to pick up these nice little shiny parallels and inserts of Mahomes. He's starting to fit into that GOAT conversation, and I like just grading these cards and getting 10s or little sneaky buys, kind of like Curry is. We can get his parallels and color cheap, and then they're like in a 10, like 60 bucks immediately, kind of like Jordan sometimes. Shea Gilgeous Alexander. This is the tricolor, I think. Tricolor shimmer. Oh, there's so many freaking parallels now. I don't even remember the right name for them. Let's double check here. Let's see what it is. This is the red, white, orange shimmer. There you go. It looked pretty good. Shea's might be the best guy in the league right now. So don't have a lot of his cards. Just saw that one floating out there. Saw it as an opportunity. Jonathan Brooks, a good running back that was picked pretty high really in last year's draft. I was injured. Chuba Hubbard played really well, so I'm not sure how much playing time that he's going to get. He's a very low risk, potential reward. We'll have to see what happens. Here we got a LeBron. This is a thick card here. Panini Dominion, numbered to 75. I have to check this out. It looked pretty clean, and the nice part is it has white back corners, which helps a lot. We'll have to see if the foil is strong over here and not kind of rounded off or pinched. That's really the key on those thicker cards, at least for starters. They're always hard to grade though. Got a James Harden. This is a gold wave mosaic. I believe these were the T-malls. They're not numbered to 10, but they are golds, and gold mosaics of any kind usually move pretty well. So we'll see if this is gradable. So here we've got a Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, a Prism Fireworks Silver. Cheap parallel here, probably just a couple dollars, so be one that just check to see if that fits into a grading submission, more than likely when there's some sort of deal on basketball, so you can get the cheaper price point to grade it. Here we got an Alex Ovechkin, numbered to 35. I think I picked this up for roughly $15 or so. Looked nice and clean, pretty well centered, no really apparent whitening or damage that I could see in 2 dimensions, so we'll check it out a little closer. This was kind of a neat pickup. A Luke Kuechly Finest Refractor rookie. Nice. I mean, they color match these anyway, but it's a nice looking card, nice center, looked really clean. And I like picking these types of cards up because these players have a following, but I feel like this card hasn't changed hands a million times in raw form. Like a lot of the stars have probably been traded and moved around, and someone else has tried to grade it and realized they couldn't, and then they resubmitted to COMC and all that sort of stuff. I like those mid stars. I feel like you kind of could be the first one to grade it, and they seem to grade well by percentage. And we got a award contender, Dirk Nowitzki. This is the playoff contenders. I believe this was a numbered parallel to 100. Collector's Choice, Michael Jordan. This one looked nice and clean. It was a top to bottom centering that concerned me, if anything, so we'll check this out. If it doesn't meet tolerance, I'm sure I could put him out with the other Jordans and move him that way. This was a Bobby Dahlbeck. This was the Stars and Stripes parallel. These actually sell really well for all players. I think people either try to put the set together, or this is a definitely, I don't even call it a mid-level star, like a lower tiered star, maybe had some upside, but a Boston Red Sox Stars and Stripe parallel. If it doesn't grade, this one I think I'm gonna keep it, but it did look in good condition. I'll probably grade it if it's gradable. It's a Brock Lesnar Leaf Limited Rookies and Stars Longevity Brock is just a awesome athlete. Also somewhat local here to Minnesota. He's able to be from Minnesota, the Dakotas, Canada. So he has a little bit of history here for sure at the University of Minnesota as a wrestler. And obviously he's been everywhere. He's a collegiate wrestler, he's a WWE wrestler, he's a UFC champion. He's really done a lot of things there. He's in a Vikings uniform. So Brock's a pretty accomplished athlete, and he's just somebody I like to get some cool cards of when I can. We got the Bryce Harper. This is the All-Star Game. Well, it was 2012 All-Star Game. So this was some sort of rookie variation from the update series. We can see it doesn't have the rookie badge. It just has the All-Star Game badge there. But we got another Garbage Pail Kid, set filler, Smelly Sally. And again, these should be, this is the end of this order here, so I shouldn't see any more of these highly entertaining 1980s Garbage Pail, non-gradable set filler junkers. Target Margaret. All right, here we go. So here, I don't know that I got a great deal on this. I kind of got sucked into the WNBA hype a little bit when I looked at this. It's a Becky Hammon. I think this was, it was a rookie. I think it was like Fleer Dominion or something like that. I don't remember exactly what, yeah, Fleer Dominion, Becky Hammon rookie. I think I threw like a $2 bid on it. I'm just like, if I take this down, great. I think I got it for like $1.50. And then I was like, wow, I looked at what the comps were. It was like, oh, people are buying this for $1.50 all the time. I remembered her being a bigger star and then also a coach. So I thought that would be worth more. And I guess that's my fault for not comping it. But some of those low level cards, I just throw, I just kind of spam low bids on them and assume they're worth more than they are sometimes. Wyatt Langford, this is the Topps Chrome Refractor. Looked like it was nice and clean. You can pick these up for about $5.50 if you're patient. With baseball ramping up now, it might be a while before you can get it at that price, but that's what I've been getting them at. Another Jonathan Brooks Mosaic rookie. This is the red and green choice, I believe. This is the Calvin Johnson Purple Refractor. This one looked really nice online, nice and centered. A lot of times these side-to-side centering isn't great. You can see here it's not perfect, but what I did do, this is a little tip you can do. In one of my previous videos, I showed the edge centering website that you can use. If somebody scans their cards in where they're nice and flat, they're not like a photo with it leaning, but if it's a nice flat scan, you can just save that picture, upload it into there, and just check the centering yourself. So you'll know the centering is good before you even bid. I highly advise to do that, especially if you're already in question. Save yourself the time, save yourself the headache. Point of even bringing that up is you can save everybody the headache by verifying your centering before you even bid or slap the buy it now. I'd recommend doing that. You pretty much already assume that you're a fourth of the way there to a PSA 10 before you even put any money at risk. Another GPK. Here we have a John Morant. I think this was the Orange Flash from Select. This is the courtside, the more rare of the parallels, if you still want to call those rare. They were up until maybe 2018, 2019, but not so rare since Select hit retail. Garbage Pail Kid. This is probably a PC card for me, maybe. Mikal Bridges, ever since he went to the Knicks. I always liked him anyways, and then when he went to the Knicks, I was all the more reason to fangirl over him. We got a Juju Watkins Splash of Color Goodwin Champions. I'm looking for just, it's about the cheapest Juju Watkins card you could get right now. Dalvin Cook, this is a Select, I believe this is the Premier Level Silver. This card's really tough to gem, obviously, with all the black borders, but it looked really clean. Dalvin, he's probably not a featured back in the league anymore, but I think that could be a sneaky buy. He still sells, and here in Minnesota, it's never a bad thing having a good Dalvin Cook card. So here we got a Mitch Richmond, or he was something in his day. If you ever got a chance to watch Mitch Richmond, played in Mike's time, so he was often overshadowed, but boy, could he score, and he could really do everything. Mitch Richmond was a very, very good player. Don't hear a lot about him, but the card is really well centered, looked clean on the front. Back centering is good enough to get a 10, so we'll have to make sure, check this out and see if the surface checks out, but these old refractors of stars are nice when you can get them. Donruss Optic on the LeBron here. Hollow Fast Break, just a base card, so it must be an older Optic set here. It's a pretty clean looking card. Here we've got, looks like a Kobe Bryant Ultra insert. Oh, this is the Kobe gold medallion. So sort of tell that it's the gold medallion. It doesn't have a lot of tells like some of the other ones where it'll have the big gold badge, but the way you can tell here is the G in the number. So took me a minute to even to identify it. So we've got Calvin Johnson refractor again. This one also looked really centered, pretty clean. It's again gonna come down to the surface, otherwise it looks really sharp. Nice borders in the back, so those are easy to grade. It's really, the refractors are always, are they scratched or scuffed or nicked? Their surfaces show everything, so you really gotta be all over those. So we got a cheap Jordan here. This was commemorative set. You can see here it's in relation to the playoff performance. From the Legacy set, it looked pretty clean. Usually if these are bad, they're chipping up top. You don't see much here. So this would be one, if I can get a cheap 10, great. If not, just move back off of it and rinse and repeat. So those Jordans I like to pick up real cheap and just do exactly that, what I just talked about. You know, Sidney Crosby here, I think this was a ice medallion or something like that. So it was numbered to $3.99. All right, so again, nothing too crazy different from card to card. I've got a pretty pointed attack. I don't buy a lot of prospects in here. You can see, with the exception of, you know, some rookie quarterbacks or, you know, the Juju Watkins card. And this one sucks because I can already see, or maybe that's part of the design. I was gonna say it looks like there's a big nick there, but it looks like a continuation of that. So we got a Caleb Williams Goodwin Champions. These are usually numbered as well, $2.99. We have to check out the condition there. You can see here we got a Bryce Harper, really cheap Bowman Chrome refractor. Really the Topps Chrome are kind of the pinnacle of the refractors, and it's your Bowman and your finest refractors a little below that as far as value goes. This looked like it was good enough to check out, so number to $4.99. Josh Allen, this is the blue reactive parallel on his mosaic. A bit of a color match, so it is a good looking card. Looked nice and clean, so we'll see how that checks after some examination. The Allen and Ginter, this is similar to the other Jaden we saw in this order, but this is the black. It is non-numbered. Substantially harder to grade because of the edges, so we'll have to check for chipping and paper loss there, but potentially a good card. One more garbage pail kit. I hope that's the last one. I had about enough of those. Okay. Brett Favre Blue Finest Moments Refractor. These are number 2, I believe, $1.99, $2.99. So looked nice and clean. These ones, you really got to look, honestly, is the back corner. Usually the surfaces are pretty good on this year's Finest. It's these back corners are all dark, and when you really get in close, it's usually 1 or 2 corners that are just not good. And especially those older ones where you feel they might have been sleeved a few times, usually people nick them on the sleeves, and that's just enough to ruin the party. So we got a Vince Carter Flair Showcase rookie here. Picked this one up for, I think, $5 or $6. The flares are a trap. I've said it before. They look like such a appealing buy, and you can occasionally get good prices on them. And I just, whoever's grading those 10, man, they must be sliding a 50 in their submission or something. I don't know how they're doing it, but that's been my kryptonite. I just can't do it. Stadium Club, Kobe Bryant. This is like a 3rd or 4th year. This one, I'm a little concerned, like looking at this. So you see an anglet here, you can see the impression of the Stadium Club logo that's here. I don't know, some graders are like okay with that and some of them are not. So we're gonna have to look at this one and see if I feel like risking it. It's probably something I'll send when there's a basketball deal for like $12 a card. I might roll the dice then, but Aaron Rodgers Select Hot Stars. These are a really cool insert set, but they're really cheap. So you see like the base cards and the silvers from the set, and you're thinking that this insert would be comparable or more, and it's, for some reason they're less. It's weird. It's like they're hit like every few packs, but yet cheaper than the base. So people just do not care about those, but I thought it was a good looking card, and we'll see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long mail day for sure. I appreciate you sticking with me here. Let me know your thoughts as we wind up here. What do you like about this? Do you like the amount that I'm buying? Do you like what I'm buying, or is there anything I said that you would tend to not agree with, feel free to drop some stuff in the comments and we'll go. So we got a Jackson Churio, Bowman's Best. I think this was the purple, but the purple would be numbered, so it is not. But it is, maybe it's just a base refractor, but these you can pick up at a real reasonable price. They look good too. The Bowman's Best kind of naturally have a color match for everybody. The design seems to fit the team, so I always enjoy that. Oh, let's see here. We've got a Action Cracked Ice card of Messi. Picked this up for a few dollars, and this one might be sneaky. If it doesn't grade well, it had comps kind of all over the place. Like one was like $3.50 and another one was like $12. So I got it at the lower end, and I'm thinking if this doesn't grade well, I can just throw it for like, buy it now for like $9.99. I have a feeling it would sell quickly, just based on the fact the comps are all over the place. The lower ones may have just been listed too low or maybe sold at auction where the other people are hitting buy it now. So same situation here with the Ronaldo, same card, different player. Basic Bowman's Best refractor, Aaron Judge here. Another Bowman's Best refractor, this is Jackson Merrill. I'm pretty high on him this year. I think I've said that in a previous mail day, but if I have not, I feel like if you really go on to some of the analytics pages and look at the percentiles he finished at last year, he's across the board in the red, which is good. Doesn't have any cold. So if you compare him to like Churio's got some stuff in the blue, some of the red. So a lot of people feel like Churio has a higher ceiling, but I think Merrill's a very safe bet, like a slow burn, so to speak. We got a Juan Soto. This is the Topps Transcendence Orange, number to 25. We got a JJ McCarthy. Looks like JJ's got the job. A lot of people had already assumed that his prices have quite a bit of value baked in there. So now it's just confirmed he is the future. We'll see how it goes for JJ. Topps Pristine Refractor, Wyatt Langford rookie. I do like Pristine really year after year. It's a pretty underrated set, I think, but they always look nice and clean. Just like this one, I like just how bright it is, and refractor looks nice. So this one, very cheap, Steve Nash. It is a collector's choice rookie. You got this for like $1. So looked really nice and centered, might grade well. That's a card, even if you're going to send it in, you got to get a 10. Even though Nash is a former MVP and a Hall of Famer, it's just too low end of a card to do anything with a 9, especially if you send it to PSA. You can't put $20 into grading that and get the cost of shipping your cards there and back, whatever that's distributed out over the other cards, plus what you have into it, and then you try to sell it. Obviously, you have seller fees. I mean, you'd have to be able to get like if that was a 9, you'd have to have it at a $30 price point, probably to break even, and it's just not going to happen. So, Eric Hendricks, Minnesota Vikings, somewhat legend. He's very good player here for a long time, well liked. Been around the league a little bit. I think he's on the Cowboys now. Did some time with the Chargers, and he's been around. But this is a Topps Chrome refractor of him. Try to grade it here and sell it locally. Somebody I'm sure would want it. I finally took one of these down. I've been bidding on these as they come up in auction for quite a while. It's a Brandy Chastain, pretty iconic moment when the Women's World Cup team clinched victory, and she ripped her shirt off, as we see here, and had the iconic pose, kind of goes to her knees and kind of screams in celebration. It's an all-time classic card for Team USA, something that if you can get a card that captures a moment like that, I'd love to have it in the collection for sure. I'm always trying to get it at a good price point, especially if it's not rare, so I keep throwing bids in, and finally took one down at a reasonable price. So hopefully it's gradable. I think that card would be really cool to have long-term. Michael Jordan, Goodwin Champions, his airness. I think this was a nicknames parallel or something along those lines, but here's a Lamar rookie. Here's another one I've been bidding on as they come up. It's not a particularly lovely card. I'm not crazy about the sideways cards ever, but it's Panini Unparalleled. This is Lamar Jackson, non-numbered. This is just the base. I love Lamar, though. I think he's, even in the hobby, somewhat underrated as far as what his numbers and achievements are. I know his playoff games haven't really done him much favors, but can't argue with what he's producing out there. He's very, very good, very efficient. So love Lamar. I think he's great. Just seems like a good dude too. Panini Excalibur, this is the, I think, silver parallel. This is Kevin Garnett in the T-Wolves jersey, which is nice. Nice and clean card, nice and centered, all white, so it should grade well. And it kind of looks like it would be thicker, almost like a National Treasures, but it is not. It is a normal stock card because it's very thin, so might be a sneaky one there. The Select in Fuego insert of Angel Reese. This is a rookie here, and this is the orange Flash, I believe. It was, I don't think, numbered, but Angel Reese in the news as always, threatening to potentially sit out. So hopefully that is just, you know, somebody kind of catching her at the wrong time or taking something out of context, and hopefully they keep building the league up, and I think she'll be all right in the long run. Shaquille O'Neal, Hall of Fame, Ruby Red Wave. Love Laker Shaq. Like, this is like, look at how fucking jacked he is. He's a monster, man. I would not want to piss him off. This was a pretty cool one here. Topps Finest Refractor. This is not a rookie, but it's Matt Stafford pink, number /10. I think in the same night there was a Matt Stafford and a Joe Flacco. I threw little bids in on both of them. Somehow won Stafford, and somehow somebody really wanted that Joe Flacco, and I did not get it. So I guess from a reselling standpoint, it's probably better that I won the Stafford, but kind of odd of those two that's the one I came down with. Some Assets Gold Printers Proof of Barry Bonds. Serial number to that $9.99. These are those old, they used to have like phone card type stuff for the football players. Off-brand, it was the classic brand. They're not worth a lot. I think I got this card for like $1, which for a serial numbered Bonds in his playing years is like unheard of. So it almost have to be an off-brand card, but I'm happy to pick it up. If it doesn't grade, it doesn't grade, whatever. And the last of these is the Luka Doncic Monopoly. I don't remember if this is a yellow or gold. It was numbered to 500. It's not particularly rare, but it's a good looking card. And Luka's pretty hot right now. We're still kind of riding the wave of the trade that he had. And now I gotta find my blade to get to this last one here. So here, it is a big deal to me. I'm sure most people watching are gonna be like that Snoop Dogg gif that's like, who? But I'm gonna explain what this is, and it belongs to a little, I would say like a subset I made. It's not anything that's like a recognized set, but just something that I put together. It would be like a Vikings fan putting together Purple Peep leaders, or Golden State fans doing Splash Brothers or something like that. So I don't know why this will not open. All this for one slab. So we'll show the card, then we'll explain it, and then we're gonna call it because this is a long video. Man, I feel like I'm at the meat market. Like there should be a nice sirloin in here. So here we have a 1978 Topps Abdul Salam rated PSA Gem Mint 10 in the new label. Pretty low pop. These, as I said in previous videos, if you watched my SGC sports card submission, there was a Joe Klecko of the same year. I submitted raw to grade and got an 8. And these cards are, with the white borders and the old stock, they just flake off, the color flakes off it. It has a lot of chipping, and especially in the corners. They're very, very hard to gem, even pack fresh. It's just the way they are. Older technology, older, I guess you'd say quality control standards. Probably didn't have the technology to cut them as good as they do now and stuff like that. So they're very, very hard to gem 10. And I've seen 2 of these go by, but they were like selling for $350 in that neighborhood. And that's just a little steep to me for a guy that's somewhat of a common type player of that era. He's definitely the most affordable player in the set that I'm assembling, which is the New York Jets Sack Exchange. So if you're around my age, you're aware of who that is. If you are a 90s child or even later, the New York Jets weren't always bad. They were pretty decent, especially defensively. And in the late 70s, early 80s, they had I should say just primarily early 80s, because the players that joined later had rookie years in 1981. So the New York Jets Sack Exchange had 4 people out: Abdul Salam here and Joe Klecko, who we saw earlier. And Joe Klecko is probably one of the most notable of the 4. He's definitely the most decorated. He's a Hall of Famer. After that is Mark Gastineau, who's very well known, very outspoken. He had the sack record before Strahan broke it. So he's the guy that, if you've seen him somewhat recently in the news, calling out Brett Favre for taking a dive and ruining his record and that sort of thing. So Mark Gastineau is definitely probably the most flamboyant or most biggest character of the four. And then there was Marty Lyons, who is also in the 1981 top set. So what I've been trying to do is assemble those four in the highest PSA grades available. The Joe Klecko in a 10 is very expensive. The PSA 9, if you're patient, you can get through 350 to 400. It moves around a little bit. In a 10, I don't even know if I've ever seen one or been serious enough buying it in a 10 where I really looked at it. But Abdul Salam, as I was saying, was typically around 350 for the 2 copies I saw. This one came along and it was an auction bid. It wasn't a buy it now or a best offer. So I threw in my bid and I think it was $275 or something, which I thought was a deal. I ended up winning it for like $212. So we got a really good price as far as I'm concerned on this. It's a big piece I can put in my collection. I can remove the 9 that I have, upgrade to a 10 and like permanently there. So I love when I get that pristine copy of the card because I know it's like officially off the list. I don't ever have to worry about upgrading it at some point or anything like that. So he will be going in the set along with the PSA 8 Klecko and the PSA 9 Gastineau and the PSA 9 Marty Lyons. So he's my first 10 of the 4. The most achievables probably Marty Lyons. I just don't see it a lot. I don't think a lot of people are grading that card. I'm gonna have to look for the people that like rip wax and they just submit cards in hopes of getting a 10 and getting a big sale for the set builders and stuff like that. I just don't think there's any other people that are actively trying to grade that card. So that is what this is and why it's special to me. Obviously, we do not see a lot of 1978 PSA 10s at all. Probably of this card, I'm not sure. I'll put the pop-up on the screen, but it can't be that high. Again, I said these cards are notorious for chipping, and they also have a tilt where this kind of orangish bronze border here, the card like will be square as far as the white goes, but then the picture is like tilted, so it'll be almost like slanted inside there. Very annoying because you'll get a card that's really sharp, really clean, and then the picture is jacked. So really happy to pick this up. That's probably the most you'll ever see on YouTube of anybody talking about Abdul Salam cards. So you saw it here, Good Form Sports Cards, giving you those deep cuts on the New York Jets Sack Exchange Abdul Salam rookie cards. But anyway, that is the video. We got the Salam. I'm not going to do any one-by-one sort of review here. We have the slabs and a ton of cards here. Here's the cards. That's the video. Appreciate you sticking with me, even more than my phone did when it ran out of space. You guys are real ones. I'm pretty excited about these pickups. I'm ready to go sit down and review them and see how good or bad I did. That's all we got for today. So please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, everything that has helped push me out to people like yourselves, people that might enjoy this sort of content. And until next time, we'll see you.